Well, I think the way I would look at it is not so much in terms of threats, but in the kind of more conceptual problems that we have in terms of how we think about the threats. I think for me there's kind of three key areas in terms of how we think and respond to future threats. First is the unplanned, then the unintended, and then the unimaginable. The unplanned for is the problems that we kind of know could be a problem, but for various institutional problems, we kind of drop the ball on them, but they're all kind of very manageable. The unintended is the kind of inevitable consequence of rapid technological change, where people use technologies in a way that they weren't designed for. And these are the things that are on the horizon, but you can't really predict unless you kind of really open up people's thinking to how a technology could be used. But that often happens through letting a technology out into the world and seeing how people use it. The unimaginable is the more kind of radical area of threat, the kind of wild card area. And these are the problems that are simply not on our threat horizon, problems that we're not even kind of considering. And to me, they're the more interesting problems to focus on, the problems that we can't even really kind of visualize and conceptualize yet. And I think those are the ones that we need to focus on, and that's what we've tried to do in Security Futures. That's part of Security Lancaster, is to try and create a space to think about those wild cards, those kind of more radical problems that emerge from our technological culture. We're trying to develop kind of new techniques to get people to think about those problems that are on the horizon that are not so easily dealt with, like the ones that are simply a problem of not being planned for, or the unintended consequences, which are the things that are going to happen anyway, and are not necessarily too serious. But it's the unimaginable ones, the kind of mega threats that might emerge, the really serious problems that we're not taking seriously. That's what I think we need to focus on. Well, I guess the key challenge is to improve the kind of technological literacy about the world that we live in. And I think one of the things we've been involved in at Lancaster is various projects on how young people, for example, interpret information online. And so, there's lots of research being done on how young people consume what we would see as conspiracy theories, and how that becomes increasingly normalized because people don't have the kind of critical sense of how to read the internet. So I think that's one of the key areas. It's making people aware of the dangers, and educating perhaps children how to use the internet in the same way as they're taught to learn how to read and to judge literature in the GCSEs, and those kinds of critical skills I think is what you need for a kind of an informed kind of citizenry in these areas.